specifically for that left hook punch that you've got that you feel you can expose on the night?
There's a lot more punches than that, and I have a lot more punches than that. So, I'm not just focusing on one punch. I'm focusing more on strategy and getting to the strategy position to learn what we're learning. It's southpaw, so you can't just walk up to them and learn left hook and then the same like you do on other people. So you have to set it up and timing and stuff. So yeah, I've just been working more on that.
Why should no one think of Dillian Whyte as Dillian Whyte last in the ring against Tete coming into this fight?
I don't give a fuck what people think, bro, honestly. It's like, I fought Maurice, 6-7 years ago, and they still use that photo on every single interview, every single poster they do. It's like, so why? I just realized, don't waste time worrying about stuff that you can't change. There's no point putting paint or powder on a black bread, because the minute it flops, his ring is still going to be black. No matter what color you change it or paint it to, it's a black bread.
Mm-hmm. Right now, I want to get your take on Daniel Dubois getting a lot of stick, like you're getting a lot of stick as well too. Do you feel that the stick what Dubois is getting is warranted?
No, I think boxing fans are very ungrateful, very short-minded. We went a few months ago, Daniel Dubois was the best thing since whatever. Okay, he had not a bad performance, he did all right, but he just got clocked. It's simple boxing. And people should be glad that a young man who's fought the guys he fought, done what he's done, take the fact that you say, I haven't been scared, I haven't been hiding and running, and he's fought good guys, and he lost, come back, and still fought good guys. He didn't lose and then come back and say, I'm going to fight this guy, that guy. No, he came back in a tough fights and win them and set up fights in the arena and stuff. So people should be more positive and more grateful that he's done that instead of just chatting rubbish. People, as a nation, we like to pick up negativity and spread more negativity. He's a kid that I think got learning difficulties, autism, or whatever. He's done great. He's done amazing for anyone, much as someone who's got added challenges. You know what I mean? So look at the positive. He's a young man. He's not even 30 years old. Look what he's done, what he's achieved. And he can still do it again. So, but people just like to pick up too much negativities, man. Well done, Daniel. You've done your thing, bro.
Those are the words of Dillian the Body Snatcher Whyte, okay? And he said that in a recent interview with Seconds Out. Shout out to them. The crazy thing is, I think that him stating that, people talk a lot of rubbish and they should stay positive instead of negative, and people have short memories when it comes to boxing. That's true. I mean, that's just boxing fans. We're very unforgiving, bro. We are like boxing fans. Once someone gets their ass whooped, they get roasted for a while. They get criticized. They get judged. They get all this shit. And we talk about them, we crucify them, and, verbally and all these other things. And, we nail their ass to the cross, right? But we wasn't saying that shit in September, were we? No. We wasn't saying that when he beat the shit out of Hrgovic and made the referee or the doctor stop the fight. No. We wasn't saying that shit against Jarrell Miller in Days of Reckoning the year before that in 2023. No. So, all it takes is that one time for you to get your ass whooped, and then people turn on you. So I do understand that. And most importantly, Dillian Whyte should understand that more than anyone else. That's why he empathizes with Daniel Dubois. Like, hey, he's done a lot for the sport, but then again, he loses and then you turn your back on him. I've been there, so let me talk about my empathy and my similar situation with the fans. That's why he doesn't give an F about what people think, Dillian Whyte. So, that's good. However, I will say this. Speaking of negativity, there's nothing negative. I mean, there's nothing positive about talking with somebody. Man, I think he got some kind of autism. Listen, or learning autism. You shouldn't really do that. I think he was doing well until he put that in there, because then people in a negative mindset that they're already in will look at that and say, oh shit, because that's exactly what I thought of. I'm like, you said all that to build up this man and then drop that autism seed. You know what I mean? Because he's already on the fence on, is he kind of there? Is he, you know, what's going on with Danny Dubois? Does he have acute autism? Does he, you know what I mean? But I think people do confuse though. And I know Dillian Whyte didn't mean that to be negative, but it's not what you mean, it's how people take it, right? Shout out to Tony Hudson, right? So it's like, it's how they'll take it. And, you know, and I think people are saying, well, hey, as a, you know, intelligent people will see like, no. But people looking for him to say things like that, you know, like, hey, you know, he has a learning disorder. You shouldn't even say that. I think those are the type of things that's giving him a handicap at that point. And I don't think that was the best time to talk about that. You know what I mean? Oh, you whoop someone's ass that might have an acute autism. That's not really cool. You know what I'm saying? It's not like saying retarded, because autism is not like, it's not that at all. You know what I'm saying? So people know, if you know the difference, if you have people in your family that suffers from, like I do, that suffers from autism. Not, you know, dated a girl with her daughter had autism. You know, it's not being retarded. You know, it's not a mongoloid state, and really retarded is a word that's redeemed offensive these days, but it's nothing like that, right? So it's a totally different issue mentally, you know, so we have to say that and keep that there and keep that to the forefront. But it doesn't look good when you're talking about somebody getting their ass whooped, you know what I mean? Because it does look like a disability, you know what I mean? Or a flaw that couldn't help him in the ring, right? But I wouldn't have used that, but I mean, it's Dillian the Body Snatcher Whyte. What are you going to do? He's going to say what he's going to say anyway, right? So there you go. But you guys tell me what you think of Dillian the Body Snatcher Whyte and his take on Danny Dubois. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.